Basically, our obligation as a university is to buy whatever electricity they produce off this site at a fixed rate for 20 years. That was actually one of the biggest selling points, because I always tell people, I know what I'm going to pay for electricity off this site for 20 years. You don't know what you're going to pay from Xcel 20 weeks from now.
You've just met this woman, Carol Dollard. She's an energy engineer on the Colorado State University facility staff. And she was our tour guide recently when a group from the South Metro Denver Chamber of Commerce visited CSU's Foothills campus in Fort Collins. We visited two very different facilities, both providing power and saving money for CSU while helping the environment. The 30-acre solar power plant on this part of the tour provides 30% of the electricity for CSU's Foothills campus. At 5.3 megawatts, it's one of the largest solar systems on a university campus in the United States.
The plant was built in 2 phases. We're in phase 2 right here. And for a variety of reasons, most of which had to do with the geography of the site, phase 2 is fixed tilt, 25 degrees facing south. So these are fixed tilt Trina panels, advanced energy inverters. Phase 1, we'll walk up the hill here in a minute, is a tracking system, and it's used the same kind of panels, same kind of inverters, but a single axis tracking system. Wind can be an issue. This is a 115 mile an hour design wind site, which is one reason, if you know anything about solar, the optimum tilt for year-round collection is equal to your latitude, which is 40 degrees, not 25, but kicking them up to 40 degrees makes them a bigger sail. It also means you got to space them farther apart because of shadowing, okay? So you can't put as many in there. So there's trade-offs in all those things when you're doing this stuff. This is phase 1. This is the first part we built. We completed this in December of 09. The phase 2 was completed in December of 10, which, by the way, both of these systems, 15 acres apiece, were completed construction-wise in 4 months. What we did with phase 1 is that they wanted to do a tracking system because you get more energy at the beginning and the end of the day, which is a time, if you know anything about peak energy and when it's most valued by the utility, that late afternoon energy is really valuable to both us as a customer and the local utility. So again, back to this being a 115 mile an hour wind site, ideally you'd want a system that would be tilted to the south and then track morning to afternoon. But there's not a tracker made that'll survive more than 90 miles an hour. So the 115 mile an hour wind zone sort of required that we do what's called flat tracking. So at noon, when these get to solar noon anyway, they'll be flat like a table. And actually, if the wind gets high enough, they'll stow in that position as well. That anemometer, actually there's a separate anemometer in phase 1 over here, that will tell it the wind's too high, you need to go to that safe position. But these move a couple degrees every 5 or 10 minutes while I'm standing here. They might move. It's pretty, I always joke, the animated part of the tour, it's pretty, a couple of seconds and it moves a few degrees. This site right here is a very rectangular site. We drive this whole field with 8 motors, okay? They're a horsepower and a half apiece. So we move huge, we move like 1,000 panels at a time with one motor.
The other stop on our tour was a biomass heating plant that burns wood chips from trees killed by wildfires and pine beetles. Sounds high-tech, but it isn't, as Dollard explains.
In a very simple way, we're burning wood chips to make hot water in a boiler, and that water is used to heat buildings, adjacent buildings here. So it displaces natural gas use with a low carbon fuel. Have a person here operating it. They do need to stop by every couple of days and shovel out the ash, but other than that, it's just a boiler that runs on wood. We send hot water to the laboratory next door. They use that for heating water. It's really pretty simple.
CSU's colors are green and gold in recognition of its agricultural heritage as a land-grant university. But CSU has also become a green university when it comes to saving energy and protecting the environment. And they're doing it in ways that save a lot of money, green and gold. The solar plant will save the university an estimated $6 million over the life of the plant. The biomass boiler is saving the school more than $10,000 a year. I'm Jerry Brown of brownongreen.net. That's my 2 cents worth. What's yours?